It's your girl, Lady Mocha. You know I'm always going to pour you a cup of truth, and I'm always going to break you off a slice of knowledge.
Support for the father of two Atlanta children found brutally murdered. Police discovered the bodies of toddlers Jakarta Williams and Keontae Penn's bodies in their southwest Atlanta apartment on Friday night.
According to the arrest warrant, Lamora Williams killed her children by placing them in an oven. Fox 5's Deidre Dukes has more on how the community is really helping these grieving family members.
Just a terrible, terrible crime, and really Jamil Penn dealt a double blow with the murder of his sons, allegedly at the hands of their mother. Now, he talked about the devastating impact this has had on his family during his appearance on the Ryan Cameron Morning Show with Wanda Smith. That was on B103 this morning.
One thing for sure that we know that they're in heaven.
Willie Watkins offered words of comfort to Jamil Penn during his radio appearance on B103. The grieving father distraught over the deaths of his two sons, 1-year-old Jakarta Williams and 2-year-old Keontae Penn. The children's mother, Lamora Williams, charged with murdering the boys at their southwest Atlanta apartment Friday by putting them in the oven.
It's just crazy, man. It's just so crazy. I never thought she'd do something like this.
I feel that the community should wrap their arms around this young boy and his father, and show them that we're there for him.
Funeral home owner Willie Watkins has been a fixture in Atlanta's West End community for about 35 years. When he learned the tragedy occurred about a block from his business, he was compelled to help.
God told me, said, when they call you, you need to provide the service for them.
Penn did call, and Watkins met with him personally on Monday, telling him the funeral home would donate their services. Watkins also reached out to Southview Cemetery and West Hutter Street Baptist Church to arrange a funeral and burial service for the family.
But I want to give them a befitting homegoing celebration, one that they can remember their brother and his son in a way to not be so mournful.
An outpouring of support for a father struggling to come to grips with his son's murders while doing what he can for a surviving child who families say witnessed his brother's deaths.
I just take it one day at a time. I got to be strong for Junior. He's all I got left.
And Willie Watkins tells me he has also offered grief counseling to Jamil Penn and his 3-year-old son. You saw him there in the video. And we are told that the 3-year-old has talked about what he witnessed in that apartment the day his brothers were killed. We are told that he does that daily, that this has been very difficult for the family. Meantime, his mother remains behind bars in the Fulton County Jail.
Yeah, that little boy is going to definitely need some support, and it's so good that the community is rallying behind him.
A lot of help.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Deidre.
Hello, good evening. It is Friday. I know y'all have been anticipating on this day. It's been a long week. The weekend is finally going to be here. I know that y'all are ready. I know I was ready. Lord knows it's been a long week. I want to thank you for stopping in and tuning in with your girl at Cafe de Paris. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to the League of Dads. He has his own channel here on YouTube. I actually did a live call-in with him this morning, and he was an awesome hostess. He made me feel really welcomed, and not too many male commentators I feel comfortable with, besides Wake the Hell Up and the League of Dads. He was a really awesome host. He put me on live with him today, and I'm going to leave the link to the bottom. He was having some audio issues, but I'm sure he'll take care of that in due time, and we're going to do another show Monday, so I am definitely looking forward to that. It was very interesting, and I really enjoyed myself. I had a wonderful, awesome time with him. On that note, I want to thank y'all for stopping in and tuning in with your girl, me, Lady Mocha, at Cafe de Paris. Now, the majority of my videos, y'all know I'm always coming up with all kind of random topics. I'm always talking about all kind of different, everyday issues, but today's issue is totally different from the norm of what I usually do. I felt it was very imperative that I did this video. This video is actually a really life situation, unfortunately, that took place, and it involved 2 children unfortunately losing their lives in the process of it. Basically, if y'all didn't hear about it already, if y'all go on YouTube, it's just about on every channel. It's really it is really a very horrific story about an Atlanta mom, and she's charged with murder after allegedly putting her 2 young sons in the hot oven. The father of the 2 children, Mr. Penn, my heart definitely goes out to him. Unfortunately, this has to be a very, very, I can only imagine what he's going through. I lost a child, and I haven't lost a child in a manner that horrific, but losing a child is not easy for anybody who's ever experienced it. So I can only imagine when you lose a child through such a heinous act. And this Mr. Penn lost 2 of his sons, basically. Unfortunately, I'm gonna just go ahead and just read the story because there's so much details to it. 2 Atlanta toddlers were found dead late Friday night, and the mother of the children has been charged with murder, according to local news media. According to arrest warrant obtained by Atlanta station WXIA and Atlanta Journal-Constitution, investigators believe the mother, 24-year-old Lamora Williams, killed the children by placing them in the oven and turning it on. Officers were called out to the Oakland City West End apartments on Friday night, where 2 children, 1-year-old Jakarta Penn and 2-year-old Keontae Penn, were found dead. Police said the 2 little boys had obvious injuries, including burn marks on their bodies, possibly from the stove. A 3rd child, 3 years old, was found alive in the apartment. According to preliminary information, Williams said she left 3 kids with her sister, and when she came home, she found the 2 boys unresponsive. After gathering evidence and speaking with neighbors, investigators said they did not believe Williams left with the caregiver. Neighbors didn't buy Williams' story, telling Atlanta station WGCL that Williams had left the children home alone before. They had a vigil on Saturday night in honor of the 2 little boys. A friend of the suspect told the Journal-Constitution that Williams had a month earlier quit her job because she couldn't find a babysitter. The friend said Williams called her on Friday evening saying she couldn't do it anymore. Williams then told her friend the boys were dead. Police are still investigating, and cause of death is unknown at this time. Williams will appear in court on Monday. I got this information from KTLA.com for those of you who want to finish, who really want to read into the story a little bit more. That's where I received the information from. I normally don't comment too strongly on situations like this. You know, my videos have pretty much been really standard, and I haven't really gone in particularly on anybody's personal situation. But I felt with this event that occurred, that it was very imperative that I address this issue. First off, again, my heart goes out to the father of those 2 little boys. My heart goes out to the family. I know both families are going to be affected by this forever. Her family, his family. My heart just goes out, and then I'm going to try to do this video as respectfully as possible. But this here is just horrific. This is what I've always been kind of addressing to a lot of you guys, to my followers and everybody out there. This is why I speak so strongly on ticking time bombs. Okay, and in this case, unfortunately, Miss Williams proved that. Okay, for her to snap and get to that point to where she felt she had to kill both of her sons by stuffing them in the hot oven, this woman been having problems way beyond capacity. Okay. First off, let me start off by saying I've been kind of reading a few videos on the situation, and I noticed how a lot of her family members and people that know of her have been saying that she had mental illnesses issues, and she's always had mental problems, and whatever the case was. I'm definitely not buying that. It's too many mothers that are hurting these children, harming them, and stating that after damage has been done, everybody wants to come forth and say the mother was bipolar or schizophrenic or she had mental issues. I'm not buying that with this case here, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, not only has 3 children that live with her, she has 2 more that somebody else is raising. Okay. And apparently you cannot be too mental if you can lay down not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 times and produce a child 5 times. You're not that mental. Okay. I don't think nothing was mentally wrong with this female in this case. Okay. What it sounds like to me, based on the evidence that was presented in this story, that she basically said she just couldn't take it anymore. Well, she couldn't do it anymore. She had to quit her job a month earlier because she couldn't find a babysitter. I told you guys, if any of y'all couldn't recall, on one of my videos called Ticking Time Bomb, I stated to y'all that a lot of these women, the reason what creates them to be ticking time bombs is because they put more on themselves than they can handle. Okay? Evidently, this woman had more children then she was able to mentally and financially be able to withstand. Okay. And I don't think she was crazy. I believe what happened in this case was she got overwhelmed. She got overwhelmed. Okay. And evidently, she didn't have her other 2 children with her, that was already a sign right there that this one female was not cut out to be nobody's mother. Okay, she couldn't handle it. She couldn't deal with it. Anybody could have kids, but taking care of them and mothering them, that's a totally different situation. It is easy to lay on your back, spread your legs open, and produce a child. Anybody can do that. Roaches have babies. Cats, dogs have babies. Animals bear children all the time. But that does not mean, and in some cases, even animals have more sense than these humans. I've seen cats take care of their young. I've seen birds bring food back to the nest to take care of their young. You have human beings, okay? These hyenas, all right? And no disrespect, but I'm calling her a hyena because she handled this in a hyena manner. If it was too much and you couldn't deal with it, you would have been better off giving those children up for adoption, or you would have been better off signing them over to the state. Anything other than stuffing them in a hot ass oven and killing them, okay? But this is a hyena's mentality, okay? They would rather do away with the problem than to be held accountable and use their brains and make a decision that's going to be the best decision for the sake of their children. There was nothing wrong with this girl. She was not crazy. Okay, she knew good darn well what she was doing. If you look at some of these other videos, how she actually called the police and how she tried to play crazy and act like she allowed somebody else, she had her sister or her friend or whoever it was, keep the kids, and she came home and found her kids laying there dead. I mean, you can't be too damn crazy if you was able to sit up there and think of a lie to that capacity. You're not crazy. What happened in this case was she got overwhelmed. Okay, and it's a lot of young ladies that are doing this. Okay, these young ladies, they bring these children in this world, And a lot of them bring them in this world for the wrong reason. A lot of these females out here are intentionally having children either to trap a man. And what I mean by trap a man, meaning deceive him, or whatever method she used to deceive him, whether if she lied to him and told him she was on birth control or whatever the case was, okay, which men, you have to hold yourselves accountable if you didn't use any protection, okay. But 9 times out of 10, the majority of these females who keep having these children is to try to keep a man who really don't want them like that, or they have the children so they can get benefits, whether if it's housing, stamps, child support, or whatever. Okay, and what happens is when these children get here, the reality becomes totally different from the fantasy. Okay, while they were laying down pumping and working their backs out or whatever in the middle of all of this action, they didn't look at the future. They didn't look further down the line. And what ends up happening the majority of the time, women who do this spitefully, it never turns out the way they think it's going to turn out, okay? So in this case, evidently, she didn't really want these children. She didn't mind having them. She didn't take the precautions to protect herself, to prevent herself from having them. So that lets me know she wanted these children. But the fact that she killed them once they got here, and the reality was totally different from the fantasy. Okay, maybe she wasn't getting the type of child support she wanted. Maybe she wasn't getting the kind of help she wanted. Whatever motives she had behind having these children, somewhere it backfired. Somewhere she failed. Somewhere her plan failed her. And these 2 innocent little boys came here in this world, and evidently she wasn't woman enough to endure, raising them, protecting them, doing all the things that a mother is supposed to do. She got overwhelmed. Basically, she couldn't make no money because she couldn't work. Okay, child care is expensive. This is the thing these females, these hyenas need to think about when y'all lay down unprotected, or you do all of these schemes, or you lie, you plot to get pregnant by these men, whether you poking holes in your in the condoms, or you men leave y'all condoms in the wastebasket, and she uses turkey bases. I'm telling you, it sounds disgusting, but you got some women do some dirty things out here, okay? So there are some cases with men who have literally gotten trapped. Not because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, but because some of these street hyenas are so devious and gutter, and the strategies they use as a hustle, they will take it to the limit. They scheme on levels that a lot of people don't even think about. You know what I'm saying? So evidently, as I said, these children came here and she couldn't afford to deal with it. She couldn't afford to deal with it. She had to quit a job. She couldn't afford a babysitter. Then she had the audacity to state that she just couldn't do it anymore. I guess she felt like she wasn't getting any support from the father of the child. I'm not saying he's a good dude or a bad dude. Maybe he did the best he could as a father, but whatever the case was, it wasn't enough for this hyena, okay? And it caused 2 little innocent boys to lose their lives. This is what I tell these women out here. Again, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. You can save the trolling, okay? If you know that you are not financially able, if not only money, okay, because you can have money too, but are you mentally, are you emotionally capable of being able to mother these children that you are bringing into this life? Let me tell you something. Children are a blessing, but if you bring these children in this world the wrong way, they can become a burden to your life. Okay? All right. And the reason I say that is because if you did not plan and bring these children into this world the right way, it's going to eventually become a hinder to you. Okay. If you and this man didn't sit down and plan, y'all didn't put money aside, y'all didn't decide, okay, a year or two from now we're going to get married. You didn't thoroughly plan to have these children. You're just having them all because your vagina allows you to have them. But you're not doing anything to protect yourself from putting yourself in a situation that you know you can't afford. And it's a lot of young women that are going around here hurting these babies, killing these babies, harming these children because they cannot handle it. She just said, I can't do it anymore. It is a lot when you're by yourself. You got these two toddlers, because babies are babies. They can't help being the way they are. You know, they wake up screaming, hollering. They need attention. You know, they throw their tantrums. They act out. They have their moments when they want to cry all day. It is a lot to deal with. Being a mother is not easy. It is not easy. I don't care how simple people make it look. I don't care how many pretty baby clothes you see in Carter's, how many nice little baby Nike and little Air Jordans you see. That's just part of having a child. It's so much more that goes into that. And these females, these hyenas, they cannot handle it. They can't handle it. They can't deal with it. And what happens is they punk out. They punk out and they kill these children and they hurt them because they don't want to deal with the reality that they are the ones who brought these children here. Okay. And I tell a lot of women before, and I have a lot of people, women sending me hot thought mails and getting mad and angry with me. But again, when you don't already have a solid relationship with the father of these children, and you're stuck having to raise them by yourself. If there was no real love, if there was no real connection, you are just a baby mama. Which means the majority of the weight is going to be on you. And a lot of women are quick to want to send me emails and stuff. Well, I'm a single mother. I can handle my own. I don't need no man. How dare you knock us single moms? I know people who got two parents and still in jail, still in prison. All of that may be well and fine. Okay, but not all women can handle that. Not all women can handle being single mothers. It is a lot when you are by yourself having to hold down the fort the majority of the time. When you got to be the one to pay for everything. You got to pay for all their clothes. You got to pay for their shoes. You got to pay for their field trips. Okay. Not only that, you got to deal with the troubles these children have. Okay. They acting out in school. The teacher's calling you because little Joey fighting and beating up on somebody else's child. It's a lot of stuff you have to deal with as mothers. And when you don't have that solid man in your life, that solid relationship with the father of that child, even if y'all are not together, y'all divorced or y'all had a relationship, things didn't work out, but if there was not some type of solid connection that was there prior to you conceiving that child, 9 times out of 10 you're going to be by yourself having to do the majority of the parenting on your own. And a perfect world, it shouldn't be that way. Okay, and I tell my guys this all the time, because you know, fellas, I'm a ride y'all, but what I do like about my guys, y'all don't try to make excuses. Unlike a lot of these women, they try to come up with all kind of excuses. Well, I don't mind being a single mother because I can take care of my own and I don't need nobody. What I do like about you men is that when I tell y'all the truth, y'all take it, y'all handle it, y'all deal with it. Y'all don't try to come up with all kind of excuses. You'll be surprised how many women got to go on my page and leave me a 20-sentence paragraph as to why it's okay for them to do what they do, when really it's just a bunch of bull. Own it. You know what I'm saying? Take accountability. That's how you grow. It's by not always making excuses and not always trying to justify why you do what you do. Just say, I made a dumbass decision. Okay? But I'm learning, I'm growing from it, and I'm just learning how to do things better. You know, a lot of us can't grow because we want to keep lying to ourselves and coming up with excuses. But anyway, that's another story. This is the reason why these children come here suffering. These mothers have these babies and they don't have all the tools they need to be able to provide for these children and be there for these kids like they're supposed to. They can't do it. This girl had 5 kids. Like I said, 2 wasn't with her. And from what it told me, I think she sent, did she send, I don't know. I think she sent the baby father a video of the children sitting there lifeless. I don't know. Hopefully that's not another story. I don't want to get my information wrong. But it's so many cases that happen like this, and I get one mixed up with the other. But anyway, this is why I tell you guys, be careful who you have children from. Some of these women are mental. Some of them are. Some of them got all kind of issues. You have to be careful who you have children from, because if you have conceived with a woman that has all type of issues, that same woman could turn around and hurt your son, hurt your daughter. Because men, I keep telling y'all, do your research. Okay, check on these women, check their background, see what's going on, see what kind of upbringing she has, look into her history. Okay, that's the only way you're gonna really understand and see that this is the type of person you don't want to be stuck with having a child from. Okay, now this man who is the father of these children, I'm not sure, and I'm not going to judge him because I don't know him from Adam. I'm not sure if he knew she had issues, or if he felt like she was playing crazy, or whatever the case was. But guys, there are a lot of signs. Y'all have to pay attention to the signs with these women. Take it serious. If these women are constantly complaining that they ain't got no help or they need a break, don't just brush it off like, oh, she just complaining, she just nagging, she always do. Because you could very well end up in this type of situation where a woman might snap because even she has not accepted the fact that she caused this on herself. She rather blame everyone else, and that's what this woman did. What she did was she took it out on the kids. She killed her children all because she brought them here. She did not. She rather had cowered out by killing them, wiping them off this earth. That way she didn't have to deal with it no more. Not understanding that now you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life, because them white folks are going to nail her to the cross. They're not going to have any mercy on her. You're not going to be able to use that as insanity excuse. You know, unfortunately, a lot of the white women who have killed their children have been able to use that insanity mess. But just the color of your skin, honey, they're not going to have no mercy on you. Okay, the system is not going to cut you no slack. They're going to throw you underneath the jail and throw away the key, and she very well deserves it, because if it was too much for her to handle, she should have given those children up versus killing them. And she's going to have to go to prison, where there's going to be women in there that do not like, we know how they do in prison. Prison people, they don't, inmates, people in prison, they don't like child molesters, they don't like child abusers, they don't like elderly abusers. They hurt people like that. She's going to become a target for the rest of her life in whatever prison facility she ends up in. But you know what? That was the bed she made for herself. Okay, I keep telling these young women, if you see it's too much, stop conceiving these children if you cannot handle it. Okay, if you got them here and you see you can't handle it, give these children to somebody else who can. It's people around here who cannot have children, who want to have children. Okay, you better off putting them in the system and foster care anywhere, because those two little boys did not deserve to die like that. I could only imagine the torment they went through in a goddamn oven. I'm grown, and if I touch the damn stove, I'm just crying for days. That was just very ugly, and that's very horrific. And the bad part is the 3-year-old, he saw what his 2-year-old brother and 1-year-old brother went through. Does she even imagine the emotional impact it's going to have on this young man? As he becomes older, he's going to remember what his mother did. And that's the problem with the majority of these women out here. You know, not all, if it does not apply, you don't have to reply. They will sit up here and make these bad decisions that not only affects them, but it affects the children they have. Because you're too busy trying to trap somebody or trying to keep a man in your life who evidently don't want you, or you want child support. But what happens is, I tell women, it comes a point to where you get in situations where it doesn't matter. Evidently, in this case, this female was so overwhelmed. She didn't care about the money. She didn't care about, she had 2 cute, handsome little boys. None of that meant nothing to her. She got overwhelmed. It was too much. And like I say, anybody can have kids, but taking care of them is a totally different story. I know for me personally, I am a mother of 1. My daughter is 16 years old, okay? I would have had 2, but I miscarried with my second one like a year or 2 ago or whatever, but you know, God knows what's best. I have one 16-year-old, and honestly, when I became a mother for the first time, and you know, she was, you know, and I actually held her in my arms, and like life for me, the reality set in so strong that this is another human being I'm gonna have to worry about for the rest of my life. This little girl is gonna depend on me for everything. She's gonna look for me to provide, protect her at all costs. And as time went on, I've discovered a lot about myself being a parent, that it was something I couldn't see myself doing too many times because it was a lot. And you know, the only blessing in it was me and my husband was together, so I didn't have to raise her by myself. And then I did have the support of my mom, my dads. Everybody would come in to relieve me and help me out from time to time. But in all honesty, it was one of the hardest things, one of the hardest chores I ever had in my life. And I realized it was just something I couldn't see myself doing 2, 3, 4, 5 more times, you know, at least until I was old enough to really, you know, really, understand the concept of being a parent and really, you know, getting it together to become a better parent. And it was just a lot, knowing that every time that child got sick, I had to take her to doctor's appointments. You know, I had to keep her clothed, keep her fed. The things I wanted to do, I just couldn't up and do because I had to take her with me. It was just a lot, you know, and I just knew you have to be honest with yourself. And I knew myself. I knew I just wasn't the kind of female cut out to have 4, 5, 6 children, because just her alone was a lot. And it kind of traumatized me in a sense to like, damn, I can't see myself doing this too many times because it just was a lot, you know. And every woman has to know herself. Some women, I commend you. If you got 5, 6, 7, 8 children and you got them all disciplined and you got them all on schedule and you can balance being a mother and still having a life, I commend you. But I had to be real with me. I couldn't have a bunch of children. It's just too much. I mean, my husband had kids from a previous relationship, so I was a stepmother too, dealing with other, you know, dealing with his kids, and I saw it just was a lot, and I said, no, I'm just not going to be one of them type of women that got 5 or 6 children. So after my first daughter, I went and got on birth control, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. And by the time I had my second one, my daughter was like 14 to 15, you know what I'm saying. So I had enough time. I gave myself enough room to make all the mistakes I needed to make with the first one before I just went ahead and had another one right away. A lot of these women out here are not using their wisdom. They're just having these children for all the wrong reasons. Women are having these children to keep a man in their life for the benefits, or because that's the only way they can feel validated. The only way they can find some self-worth is through being a mother. But for whatever reasons they're doing it for, if they're not being true to themselves, it's going to come back to haunt them. And in this case, it was. It did with her. Evidently, this girl was not cut out to be a mom. Okay? She done proved that over and over and over by not even having the first 2. I don't know if she gave them to somebody or they got custody, but that didn't stop her. She turned around and had 3. I don't understand you females. It only takes a second to get buy some spermicide, get a female condom, get on some birth control, you know you don't have that. If you know you don't have that kind of patience, if you know you don't really got that kind of help, you don't have that kind of support, do not put yourself in that situation, because it's going to come a point you're going to get stuck, you're going to feel overwhelmed, and you're going to take that stress out on the wrong people. In this case, that's what she did. She took it out on those two little boys that had nothing to do with it. They did not ask to be here. She brought them here. Okay, and that's I feel for the father. I heard a funeral home has came through to they're gonna, I guess, help them with the funeral, putting it together. They're not gonna charge him anything. I mean, that's a blessing in such a horrific situation that so many people coming to his aid to support him. And I can tell by the way he talks and by the way his demeanor that he's a good dad. He had the other little boy with him, and I noticed he's holding on to him pretty tight. And I could only understand that after losing two of his sons, God help him. That's why I tell you guys, y'all think I be trying to be funny. Look into these women history. You know what I'm saying? For you women out here, do not become a single mother if you can't handle it. Okay? Because it's going to be some days it is going to be too much. It is going to be very overwhelming. And if you are not ready, if you're not mentally stable, mentally capable, emotionally, spiritually, able to deal with being a mom, do not put yourself in that situation. You know you better than anyone. Please do not bring these children here just as a means for a paycheck, just as a means for benefits, because things don't always go according to plan. I know a lot of women who have had children for all kind of reasons, and then when them children get here, it don't work out. It don't go none of how they expected it to go. And now they still stuck being mothers. Okay. So, again, I feel for this young man, and I preach to you guys over and over. Don't go in a raw with these females unless you know them. And same thing for you females. Stop leaving your bodies open to allowing any man to enter you and leave you with a child that you're going to be stuck raising yourself. Because let me tell you something, it gets overwhelming. I don't care how strong you are, how smart you are, children are a handful. And it's not only that, when children get older, because they don't stay babies forever. I was telling my mom about that the other day. Me and her was talking about that. I was like, you know what, Mom, because I had a girlfriend who went through a similar certain situation where her son had got involved with the wrong person, and his scholarship and his financial aid and stuff is now on the line, and she worked so hard to get him to where he is, and I can understand how disappointing that is as a real parent when you bust your ass to get your children to have all the opportunities you never have, and they get themselves caught up in situations and you feel hopeless, you feel trapped. Because as a parent, we want to save our babies from everything. We want to protect them. We want to, and children still end up in situations. Me and my mom was talking about that, and I told my mom, I said, that's one of the bad things with being a parent, is that children have a way of turning your life, they can turn your life upside down. You could be the best mom, you could be the best dad, and these children will still go out there and make the worst decisions that will make you question yourself, like, damn, was I a good mom? Was I a good father? Children get themselves in all kind of trouble, and the bad part about it is, as a parent, you are stuck having to deal with the troubles they get themselves in. You have to either help them get out of them troubles, or you stuck watch them go through those troubles. And that's, if I had to say anything bad about parenting, that is one of the bad parts about parenting, is when your children get in some doo-doo, as a parent, you stuck, you got to endure it with them, you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the downfalls about being a parent, is that children don't always turn out the way we expect them to turn out. And it has nothing to do, anything to do with you being a bad parent or a good parent. Children just eventually make their own decision because they have their own minds. You know, they're not going to let you guide them but so much. Especially the older they get, the less guidance they want. But in this case, that does not fit for this case. For the fact that these were babies, they had no control, they had no say so, they didn't even understand or even knew what they was in for. I blame the mother 100% on this. Shame on you. Okay, because you had many examples. You have 5 examples to show you that it was too much. I have no sympathy for a woman who has had more than one child, and you turn around and you realize you can't handle it. Are you freaking serious? You didn't learn from the first, the second, the third. You know what? That's the kind of world we live in. That's the kind of world we live in. You know what I'm saying? But on that note, again, my heart goes out to her family and the father's family. I do know, only thing I can say, these children, they are definitely in good hands with the Lord now, because they have not done anything. They have not lived on this earth long enough to have to pay for any sins or to have to pay for anything. They've done nothing wrong. So they definitely got a free pass to heaven. So if I can see anything good about this situation, that's the only thing I see good, is that I know they are with our Heavenly Father, and He's going to see to it from here that they no longer have to endure any more pain, any more suffering, and because we're all going to have to meet our Maker someday. You know, so if I had to say something good, that's the only good I can find from this. On that note, I thank all of you for tuning in with me, your girl, Lady Mocha, at Cafe de Paris. Also, I did a live-in call with what's his name? I don't want to get backwards, but he has his own YouTube channel, The League of Dads. We did a live chat in today, and I'm definitely going to be chatting with him again on Monday. He was really awesome. So if you get a chance, hit that link, check it out. Again, I want to thank all of my supporters, and I hate it to be a Debbie Downer and bring you such a sad story, but you know, we just cannot be blind to reality, because everything ain't always peaches and cream. It's some real situations out there going on, y'all, and we can't stay blinded by it, because knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you grow. And again, thank you for supporting me. Like, share, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Leave your comments on the story. Guys, what do you think about this? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about these women that keep producing all of these children, and then when it's too overwhelming, they hurting the child or lashing out on the father? I mean, give me your intake on how you feel about this story, you know, and definitely, you know, keep in mind that 2 children did lose their lives in this situation. So let's be careful how we comment on this situation, okay? You know, show a little compassion, you know what I mean? Because you know, this is a very touchy situation. All right. So again, I thank y'all for tuning in with your girl, Lady Mocha. You know, I'm gonna always pour you a cup of truth, and I'm gonna always break you off with a slice of knowledge. Thank y'all for tuning in, and y'all have a wonderful weekend. Check with y'all later. Bye.